Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the devotions at the beginning of this new week. I pray it'll be a happy week for you. One of the things that I've found increasingly helpful in these past few months or so has been the whole experience of what's called centering prayer. And the reason that I found it meaningful is because my prayer life had somehow become so busy. So many words, so many things that I wanted to say, so many lists that I had of people and groups that I wanted to pray for, that I found that my prayer life was actually drying up because it was losing some of that reality which I know I needed to have in my prayers. And so one day I just felt that I needed to say absolutely nothing and simply to be in God's presence. And over the days and the weeks, this has become an increasingly important experience to me because I've felt the presence of God impressed upon my heart. And as I've thought of people, as I've thought of needs, I've just been able to lift them to Him and then allow them to go again, knowing that I'd presented them to God without a long speech that I needed to make to Him about these things. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "Be still and know that I am God." And I believe that it is such an important aspect of our Christian lives, that we actually know the presence and the reality of God. Some people have it in a very powerful way, but most of us simply experience the gentle presence of the Spirit and the peace and the blessing of God in a quiet way. Whichever way you experience it, it's at the very heart of our being. We are made to be in fellowship with God. As Augustine wrote, our hearts are restless, and we only find our rest in God. Obviously, as human beings, we are going to be distracted. And so in the experience of what's called centering prayer, there is what is called a holy word, a word that you can just say, which will bring you back. You might use the word peace or the word Jesus or the word spring of life, whatever it may be, but just to bring yourself back to the center and allow yourself to be quietly in the presence of God. And I would encourage you to be able to find times like that. Also, while we are sitting quietly, all sorts of thoughts, as it were, float through our minds. Some of the thoughts are beautiful thoughts. Some of them are perhaps disturbing thoughts or maybe even frightening thoughts that come. And one of the teachers on centering prayer, a man called Thomas Keaton, said that one of the ways in which to deal with this is to imagine that you're standing on the bank of a river, and these thoughts are like little boats that float down the river. The boat comes, goes past you, and then carries on down the river. And so with these thoughts that come, as they come, don't try to hold on to them. Don't be afraid of them. Don't judge them. Simply let them come and then let them go. And then focus again on God's presence with you. And I would encourage you to do that. And as we grow in this experience of centering prayer, praying from the very center of our being to God, so when we rise from prayer, we carry this with us into the day, and we begin to live more from the center of our being, where God dwells. Jesus says that the Spirit will be in us like a spring of water welling up to eternal life. And we can drink from that spring as we go from one experience to another during the day. And so I would pray for you, and I would encourage you to spend more time simply quietly with God and to let Him lead you. May you have a peaceful and a blessed day and week ahead. May God be with you.